When I saw episode 3 of The Last of Us, I thought television could not get any better. I was wrong. So I waited for my review of episode 4, which was called Please Hold My Hand, because I felt this was a storytelling cliffhanger where I was like, wait a minute, they're not introducing us these new characters. It would go against the storytelling and the whole narrative of the season, of what they built up in episodes 1, 2, 3. I was right. Heartbreakingly so. In this new episode called Endure and Survive, I believe, which has its own funny comic book recognition as well in the episode. Um, it's basically a two-parter, and we are introduced to new characters. And just like episode 1, 2, and 3, it is absolute heartbreak. Now, what I will tell you is that this episode where we find our leads, Joel and Ellie, trying to get out of Kansas as they arrive there at the beginning of episode 4. And then episode 5, they meet up with some other people and find a way out. I really don't wanna give details. All I can tell you is that it is a masterful narration that has begun in episode 1 and it continues now through episode 5. So we are pretty much, at the halfway point of this season, and I can feel just the tension and the setup of what could tragically happen at the end of season 1. I mean, I I'm speechless, and yes, I did choke up again at the end of this episode, for various reasons, which I want you to see for yourself. What I will tell you is that this episode had a surprisingly, uh, intense action scene towards the end that came out of nowhere, and yet it was set up in episode 4. So I was my mind was blown. My mind was blown on that explosion of a big scope action scene because what we had seen in the setup in episode 4 and then the continuation of 5 were these very personal, almost one-on-one kind of hand-to-hand combat scenes in episode 4, in episode 5 to save each other, and it was gripping. It was, I got it gave me so much anxiety that this was definitely on par of a zombie kind of run and gun, let's keep on moving and let's escape. It was so clear the objective of episode 5 that you were like, how are they going to do it? You know, it's not going to be that easy. You know, something's going to happen. You know, someone's going to die. And because I kind of know this, and because the setup of each story in each episode is kind of mirrors the same, which is just so beautifully done, they get you again, and it is just it's outstanding television, and like that first season of Walking Dead, it goes beyond its genre. Of course, Pedro Pascal is, just really killing it in all his scenes, and in this kind of new working of Joel, from what I hear. I don't know the video iteration. I actually now don't wanna know, 'cause this is my Joel. Uh, him and in this, kind of bond that doesn't wanna be a bond between him and Ellie just continues to grow, and that word of trust is finally spoken between them, and there is a very human connection. Yeah, it's simply just, one for you guys to watch. We are introduced to some new characters in the city of Kansas. I will tell you some details that won't spoil the ending of episode 5. There is a resistance that goes up against the government, the Fedra, and there are successful in taking over the city of Kansas, the metropolitan area where Joel and them find themselves lost in. Because remember, they were just trying to get around you know a a detour. This was supposed to be a minor detour. Let's get off the off ramp. We'll get back on the next entrance. It'll be like that. 2 episodes later. So this resistance does take over. There is a very kind of like very sad and very what's the word I'm looking for? Not necessarily menacing, but there's a certain wrongness to this new leader of the resistance, and the things that they do to to get their freedom, the things that they do to protect each other. It's brutal, man. It is brutal. So yeah. What else with this episode? Great connection and creativity with the new characters and that befriend Ellie and Joel, which set up the heartache. Set up the heartache. So I literally just saw this about maybe 10, 15 minutes ago, and I wanted to jump on because it is it's that moving. It's that moving. And I'm almost speechless at the fact that it was so good. I it just is. I'm gonna see it again with my other half and who's enjoying it as well. But I, I'm just blown away. I'm absolutely blown away. Yet again, it has that great thrilling action that surprised me so much towards the end of this episode. And it wasn't the end, and it wasn't the final tragedy in this episode. And this episode could be a movie. I mean, the first these 2 episodes together, it's basically another film, as with is with each of these episodes. But you're getting the obviously more and more information, the scope. It doesn't time jump more than 10 days before um, Ellie and Joel run and crash into Kansas City downtown. Uh, so it does that very quickly, and then you're in present time. So there's no years as far as time jumping. Just about 10 days or so, 11 days or so, which was wonderful. There's a lot of surprises. There's a lot that I'm leaving out. I can tell you right now what makes every episode fantastic and heartbreaking is the excellence in the actors that they pick. This would not work. And I'm not talking about the leads because the leads are with us every episode. I'm talking about the ones that aren't. Since episode 1, it hasn't let us down. These actors are on point, but I want you all to be the judge. I want you guys to comment right now and let me know what you guys think. Don't forget to subscribe if you like what you see. I got interviews, I got reviews, I got it all here on the Latino Slant. Wherever you're at, keep your slant fuerte.